at the end of this episode, you would know how to sculpt hair, much like I've done in this example. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi guys, and welcome back. I just Google search Lego Man movie wiki again, and I try to find, you can use any image you like. I try to find an image that had a bit more of a side view so we can see how the side of the hair looks. Find any image that you like and work from that. Then open up your Blender file, and all you need to do, let me actually just remove this and show you how to do it. All you need to do is put your mouse up here, drag it open, change this to your image editor, open an image, find the image that you downloaded. In my case, it's this one here. And I can just have this on the side here as a reference point for myself as to how the hair looks. So there we go. So I've got a rough idea. Right, step number one, you want to press Shift A, Mesh. We're going to use a cube. I'm going to turn on X-ray mode. I'm going to press G, Z to lock it to the Z axis. Put it in the middle over here. Go to the modifier properties. Add modifier, add a subdivision surface modifier, leave it on cut more clock, and let's initially ramp it up to 2. Zoom in over here, G, Z, G is to grab, Z is to lock to the Z axis, and S to scale, bring it down so it's closer, GX, and just to make my life a little bit easier, I am going to turn on my plugin so you guys can see what keys I'm pressing. Alright, GX, oh sorry, that's actually fine. S, scale a bit more, and that looks pretty good to me. Now, what we'll have to do is apply this modifier, unfortunately, and once it's applied, you can press Tab to go into edit mode. Just a heads up, you guys probably don't have this turned on. You don't have to have it turned on, but if you want to follow with me and have everything work the same, go to Key Maps and click on Tab for Pie Menu. So it just gives you all your options available. It just helps. I find it a lot more useful. So we're going to go to edit mode, and then we're going to press 3 to choose face select. We've got vertex select, edge select, and face select. And we're going to press numpad 3 to be in right orthographic view. X-ray must still be turned on. And looking at this image, seeing how this is done, I can tell that, and knowing that the head starts here, let's actually turn X-ray on so we can see better. I mean wireframe on. So knowing that the hair kind of goes down a bit, I'm just going to press G, Z, and just bring this down a little bit to about there. And now that it's down a bit, I have to try and make it look like this. So I have to delete a couple. So automatically I know I already have to delete all of this. X, delete faces. And without even thinking, I know I probably have to delete all of this. X, delete faces. Also looking at this with this cut, probably have to delete, Shift, select these over here. X, delete faces, and let's turn on solid view mode and turn off X-ray mode and just take a quick look. Okay, looking at this, it only did it to the one side for some strange reason. So I'm just going to do the same to this side. Shift, X, delete faces. There we go. Now it's looking the same. Now we are one step closer. The next thing we want to do is press numpad 1, go into wireframe mode, turn X-ray on, and to make my life a little bit easier, just for the time being, I am going to pretty much hide the entire Lego Man and just focus on this hair piece that's in front of us, this problem. And first thing I'm going to do is press tab, go into object mode. With this whole thing selected, I'm going to add a solidify modifier and make it 0.03. I might make this thicker later. I'll leave it there for now. And also need to add another subdivision. And the subdivision has to happen before the solidify. From the looks of things, yeah, it's better. And we could keep it simple, but I'm not going to do that. I'll leave it on cut more clock, and I will ramp it up as well, and then apply it. Shade smooth. We've got something we're working with here. Now I'm going to press numpad 3. The only thing I'm going to turn on here is the head. The rest is going to go off, so I get no distractions. So the first thing I want to do now is press object, go to sculpt mode, look for your grab brush. It's been a while since I've played with this, so if we grab this, it won't look right. So one thing you can do is press F to scale the size of your brush. F, and you just move your mouse to decide how big and small you want it. So that's number 1. And so for example, if we grab, and also you can press Control F for the intensity. And now we can just try and shape this a little bit better to match the image. I imagine it goes down to about there. And let's just carry on going around this object, just bringing this down, getting it looking right. And you can kind of play with this as much as you feel comfortable. And I'm going to press next to these top on your keyboard, below the escape there's a, next to the 1 there's a little squiggly line. Press that, and we were in right orthographic view. Press it again. Now we're going to go to left orthographic view, and we're going to try and get that same shape. And what you could do, I mean, if you wanted, you could do half of it and then mirror it over, and that's one way to go about it. That's probably the better way, but I'm quite happy taking my time with this and creating a more of a unique feel by doing it this way. I'm going to press numpad 1, and I'm going to turn on X-ray mode, and I'm going to also switch back to object mode, and I'm going to press, looking at this over here, I'm going to press G, Z, okay, that would be the correct height. Just trying to make it match a little bit more. And then I'm going to press tab, go into sculpt mode, and I'm going to just try and get these sides, when I'm in front with the graphic view, these sides correct. And this process, frankly, it just takes some time. Especially the sculpt brush is not my favorite brush, because it's not like hard surface modeling where precision is virtually guaranteed every time. This has got to do with, you know, look and feel, watching what you're doing kind of thing. And yeah, this definitely does take some time to get used to. I'm just clicking and pushing in the whole time, just trying to make it match a little bit better the shape of what we have here. Here we go. And you can just spend as much time as you want on this to get it as nice as you like. Just trying to get this more in here, but at the same time just drag this out. Do the same for this. Just bring this down a little bit. And I'm sticking to the sides and front orthographic views for the most part, which is a little bit easier to try and control, so make sure you don't work in a dimension you're not comfortable with. And now that we've got the shapes more or less correct, let's turn off X-ray mode. And from the looks of things, I'm going to press Tab, go into object mode. Numpad 1, S to scale, X, if I only scaled on the X-axis, how would that look? Probably wouldn't look that good. Let's increase the solidify. What would 1 look like? No. 0.5, 0.2, 0.1, 0.1 is close match, that's probably 0.8 or something. Oh, sorry, 0.08. 0.09, and you're just visually looking at the 0.1 is pretty close. And yeah, and you can spend more time on this to get this perfect, but this is step 1. Once you got the basic shape, you also need to create the detail, which we would do in the sculpt mode. One more thing that you could do in your modify properties, in your solidify, you probably want to create even thickness, and just for a little bit more subdivision, let's take a see how it looks. Let's reduce this as well, because I think we have enough subdivisions. The more subdivisions, the easier it is to sculpt the hair. That's why we will Control Z, undo. That's why we do it. And you always apply these modifiers from top to bottom to get the same effect. Right, now that we've got all these subdividers, we probably want to mess with the sculpting even further to get it making look more realistic. Right, now let's press Tab, go into edit mode, and we can see we have loads of detail, probably too much detail, and we're going to press 1 to select a certain vert. And let's say we want to select this vert over here. We can press G, or we can turn on proportional editing, then we can press G, scale this out, and we could potentially bring this in. We'll do the same over here. G. And we can also press G, scroll this in. Let's press 3, G, roll this in, and we can just bring it out. And you can kind of model your own hair at this point. Squiggly line, left, choose a certain vert, press G, because we're using proportional editing. It's a massive time saver. Back to 3, let's look at this side. This side's not looking actually too good. Kind of just use your own gut. And let's create a bit of a hairline section here. And we'll do the same on this side. Well, this side, it seems like it's a little bit thicker, numpad 1. Oh, let's fix that. See, this is when we're not working in orthographic views. We get issues like this, where now we have to try and push it back into the mesh, and it becomes a bit of a pain. I'm just going to Control Z and go back. There we go. I'm going to press 3, so I'm in right orthographic, press G and then grab it. There we go. And let's select this and just make it not look so boring. G, and proportional editing is a big part here, and you can design it the exact same or you can make it slightly different. It's all depending on what effect you want. Cool. Okay, not that part. Let's go to the back there. Numpad 1. And we'll do the same over here. Zoom in a bit for a bit more control. And let's look at this reference image. So they go for a more smooth approach. So let's make ours a little bit more smoother. Okay, something like that. So it's roughly something like that. Okay, so we've got our base part of our hair done. Let's move on to the next part. Another thing we can do is press numpad 3, possibly make this end bit here just stick out a bit more. This is all to do with your personal style. What else could we do? Numpad 1. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. And you might want to also just personal preference, really, that we're messing around with. Numpad 1. I'm kind of just moving things a little bit so it's not 100% even. All to do with the style that you prefer. Kind of just have fun with this. Let's see how it looks quickly in object mode. Numpad 1. Yeah, it looks kind of okay. Not too bad. Alright, let's see how the hair looks from the inside. Numpad 1 for front orthographic view. In your numpad section, there's a divide sign. Press that divide sign, numpad divide. Now we can see how the hair looks on the inside. Right, so we're going to press tab, go into edit mode, and we're going to press that squiggly line and choose bottom, so we can view the hair from the bottom. And we're going to press 3 for face select over here, and where you see the middle over here, it's somewhere here, you can just hold in shift, click to a couple of blocks, and then press Control plus, and you can just expand this as much as possible without it hitting the outside. Okay, let's continue to press Control plus. I think that's the max I can possibly go on this end. And for the rest, from the looks of things, that we also want to select is hold in shift and just select all of these pieces. Keep in mind, I am not in X-ray mode. I'm only selecting one side, which is the inside. And I'm just trying to select all these faces on the inside. If you select one over, you can just hold in Control and click, and you can deselect it. And you can hold in Shift and select what you need to select. And just take your time with this. I probably added too many subdivisions to my hair, but I'll be honest, sculpting is not my strength, but I do know that you get a much better result with more subdivisions, usually. So this is probably not the most optimal way to do this, but it should get you a pretty good result either way. All right. If you use less subdivisions, you're probably done selecting all of this already. So my apologies. All right, let's do this side. Take your time with this, no rush. And once again, if you click over, like I have done, over here, I don't know how I did that, just holding Control and select the ones like that. And keep holding in Shift as you select all the faces that you wish to select. And looking at that, I'm quite happy with everything that I selected. It looks pretty good to me. It shouldn't mess up with my design at all. Alright, the next step you want to do is press X and delete faces. And the reason why we're deleting faces, and possibly something else you might want to do, is use less subdivisions if you're making it for a game asset. And we're deleting this because in the game asset this part would never be seen. So it's really just more about efficiency than anything else. Alright, so you can press that divide sign, numpad divide, to bring back the head. And we can just come here closer, and if you want, we can make the hair look like it's more attached to the head. And we're going to press 1 to be on vertex select, and I would possibly hold an Alt, select all of these, turn off proportional editing, and in this case, I might as well just press S and bring it in. And then just looking at how it came out here, I would want to do the same over here. Press G, X, and just bring this in as well. Do the same over here, GX, GX. And you can kind of just go around this whole model and just pull everything in. So looking at this, holding Alt, select all of this, and then press S. Or S wouldn't be enough, S a little bit, and numpad 3, G, Y, and just bring it in a bit, then S again, and you can kind of just play around with this to get the effect that you want. Holding Alt, select all these pieces here, S. Seems to be a problem here. Holding Alt. S. We can also press G. X. And you can kind of just play around with this, holding Alt, S. There you have it. We've got a beautiful Lego head that probably still has too much geometry, but at least we cleaned it up on the inside. Let's do the next part. Now your character should, let's press tab to go into object mode. Your character should have the hair fully covered. If you missed a part like this, you just probably want to close it off to make sure nothing is sticking out on pad 1. And you can decide whether you want to go for the same traditional hairstyle or something more plain for now. And we'll come back to this later on to add those lines and that back piece. But you can decide to do a completely different hairstyle. So if you went to sculpt mode and you wanted to get comfortable with sculpting, you might press F to choose the scale of your brush. And you might just pull things apart and, you know, go crazy. Mess with shapes. Find something that you like that's interesting. Just keep pulling. I'm using the grab brush to just grab this and try and create something interesting. On pad 1, and before you know it, you might have something like this. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on this character's hair. The next tutorials we're going to be doing is UV mapping, and then after UV mapping we're going to color this in and then go to grease pencil, animate the face, and then we're going to rig this character, and then we're going to animate the character, and then eventually we're going to put this in the Unreal Engine. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you want me to continue this series.